ship called the Nona recently crashed somewhere in this vicinity. It was carrying a team of rebel soldiers and stolen Imperial equipment. You must find them before the Imperials do.
Alright, so we are on our way to hunt down this lost ship. Or his down ship, so let's... Now it is somewhere down this way. Nope, not down here. And the draw distance doesn't exactly help. But it's just about as soon as you find the ship, though, you're going to have an Imperial loader show up, and it's going to drop a bunch of ATSTs and some small tanks. And probably by now it's already landed, so... Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about this. You know, strangely enough, probe droids, there it is.
Let's keep the crew out of danger until our shuttle can pick them up.
Yeah, and that loader, I believe, is actually impossible to destroy, both in air and on the ground. Even though you can shoot at it, and you definitely don't want to fly into it, because I believe that is actually pretty much a one-hit kill. Yep, all that gets unloaded. And just avoid the ATSTs. It's kind of weird that they would send something that's mainly meant for air-to-air combat to do some ground attacks. And that's been something I kind of find intriguing about the Rogue Squadron games, is that pretty much everything's all has an emphasis on one fighter, rather than, say, like something more collaborative, or at least something more related to what you use. Yep, so no longer the fighters, the bombers are going to be the ones that are going to be your biggest pain. And do be careful about flying into stuff, because these A-Wings get torn apart pretty easily. Yeah, and so far I'm not hearing any audio. It's just the last time I played through this, before recording this session, or at least recording my original session, audio was just all over the place, and it was spamming. I don't know, it was like, I don't know, like the audio was mixing up with the actual sound effects, and so anytime there was a high amount of action, you essentially get like ear rape blasts. So luckily your shields do actually restore a little bit. And but like I said, I'm probably gonna have to find the upgrades some other time, just because of I don't even know where they are in this game. Unlike in Rogue Squadron 2. That's kind of how little I've played this game. And I refuse to play the PC version of this. I mean, until the controls on the on its controller support are improved. I'm pretty much completely no on using the PC version as a Let's Play template. And shit. Alright. I'm just gonna jump cut this to whenever that other shuttle shows up or somewhere close to it. There we go. Alright, so we got that shuttle to take off. Completely forgot, yeah, that they had to go a little bit further away and knock out the TIE bombers before they show up. Yeah, now we just gotta stay close to it and make sure none of those fighters try to take it out. Here comes the party. You know, we kind of have to follow, what is it? A little bit of strike at the core kind of thing, or a little bit like the prisons of the mall. And for those referencing, that's Rogue Squadron 2 right there, because you have a similar mission to this. But now we're good.
The shuttle is away. Rogue leader, get your squadron out of there.
Yeah, it was definitely worth getting a bronze. And I got promoted.
Imperial officer Crix Madine wishes to join the Rebel Alliance, but the Empire will do anything to...
Yep, this time we get to use the speeder.
This is Luke Skywalker. Go ahead.
I've received word an Imperial officer, Crix Madine, wants to defect. Apparently he has a lot of information on the Empire's military ground operation. I'm going to contact him after my meeting with the city officials in the Capitol Tower. Keep your eyes open for any sign of trouble.
Form up. Picking up something strange on my scope. I copy. Increase speed, full throttle. Right with you, boss. Maintain visual scanning.
And I believe in this mission, it's mostly walkers that you're fighting against. Yep, and there's the party. Yep. That there were... Oh yeah, and there's always going to be bombers for the most part. Attacking a city, you always need your bombers. Just in our case, we're only armed with snow speeders. Which in reality, those TIE bombers, all they really have to do is just fly to a high enough altitude, and then essentially we can't even reach them, so... Man. Like I said, not worth thinking too much into a game, considering if you want to talk about military incompetence, just look at the First Order, or even the Resistance in the new sequel trilogy. Yeah, my frame rate's starting to drop here. That's a strange thing too, because I actually have the expansion pack installed on my N64, so should actually be performing better. I just heard one fly by. Oh yeah, and then there's some Imperial ships out in the water. Yeah, one thing I also give the PC version credit is that, at least with the smooth frame rate, you can tell where your lasers are going better, because in this, I feel like the lasers at times are more 15 frames per second. But alternatively, I could just switch to first person mode and it might help. It's always weird because I actually find this game easier to play in third person, but then when it comes to, say, Jedi Starfighter and Starfighter, those games are actually better to do first person.
You hear me? Rogue Squadron, this is Crix Madine. The attack came before I could reach Riken, and I've been down in the tech center. Can you get me out? Affirmative. Luke, I've got my hands full. Can you get them?
Yeah, for as much as I may harp on this game, well, maybe for the small things I harp on this game, I would like to see it remade. But then again, given Disney's full control over it, that and the fact that Legends is no longer a thing, chances of this game being remade is probably low. But even if they do remake Rogue Squadron, that'd be pretty nice. I mean, heck, I don't know when the last time there was a Star Wars space sim, maybe since, I guess probably Battlefront 2, I guess for, well, you wouldn't really consider a full space sim. It may have been Starfighter was probably the last true space sims. Because Jedi Starfighter, I think, came out around the same time as Episode 2. Oh no, actually, Clone Wars, because that one came after Yeah, but that's the latest, at least I know. I don't know if there's any newer ones I can think of. I don't know if, for the most part, other Star Wars games have always been either like action-adventure games or just simulators, or not simulators, role-playing games. 'Cause, I mean, I guess unless you want to count Battlefront as there is a space sim, I guess you're kind of saying it, but I mean... Yeah, and I still have yet to try. Well, I still have yet to completely go into X-Wing Alliance.
Hold on, Wedge. Han, Chewie, well, what are you doing here?
How you doing, kid? Thought I might give you a hand. This is my hometown, after all.
You know, the funny thing is that the one general, the guy who's pretty much the rebel general and Han Solo are basically the same voice actor. Yep, and here we have AT-ATs.
Use your harpoons and tow cables. Go for the legs.
Now, I do believe AT-ATs, at least in this mission, are optional. But,
Activate harpoon.
as you know, that, yeah, they're a bit trickier to hook onto in this game than they were in the last one.
Activate harpoon.
Yeah. I'm just gonna keep on those fighters and the bombers. That is probably better too to wait until the AT-AT's out in the open to take it out.
Chewie says we should start evacuating the people off the top of the Capitol towers.
There we go.
Activate harpoon.
And this is where your controls can pretty much go against you, and oddly enough, this is actually how I learned to do the harpoon and tow cable, and it was actually in this game and not Rogue Squadron 2. And I'll say, I think it's easier to control in this game, but, well, I wouldn't say control, I guess it's just easier to kind of get your bearings into it, because the controls for this are basically the same as in Rogue Squadron 2. You're just not going as fast as you are in Rogue Squadron 2.
Table out. Let her go.
There we go. Yeah, I mean, it looks hard in this game, but
Rogues, I've got trouble over here. They just stopped a pair of scout walkers outside my building.
it looks harder in this game, but I actually thought that it actually got easier the more I practiced, and actually the slower speed in this game actually made practicing for Rogue Squadron 2 more helpful. Yeah, and right now I'm pretty much at the point where if I get hit once, I'm pretty much dead. Man, this choppy frame rate is not helping me one bit. You know, don't worry about that AT-AT. Stormtroopers, they're pretty much a joke. No one, don't even bother hitting them unless you need that enemy kill count for a gold medal. Yep. Yeah, and maybe now is the time to worry about that AT-AT, guys. These blasts are way more powerful than those AT-STs. Yeah, and because of the C sticks in this, sometimes it's a bit tricky to remember which is your own specialty. Shit.
Activate harpoon.
Yeah, and luckily, unlike Rogue Squadron 2, you won't have to worry about having to take down these ATs while over deep water. And man, if you had to do that with these controls, you'd probably quit.
Cable out. Let her go.
Commander Skywalker, we're dispatching a shuttle to evacuate Madine. Keep those ties off its back.
Yeah, and I think unlike in Rogue Squadron 2, if you do hit the TIE fighters, like at least the middle one, they won't break off and fly away. At least from my memory. And I still just prefer just to go after the side, and rather instead of the captain. Yeah, luckily it's just fighters and not bombers. Just stay close to that shuttle and you'll be alright. Yeah, you can only blow up the head. Nice, shuttle took off. And I believe this should be the last. So we're heading towards a big building and then. Oh, I thought he was taking off from another building.
Thanks, Rogue Group. I'm clear. General Reagan.
It's all right, Luke. You held them off long enough. You evacuated everyone just in time. Thanks to Captain Solo and Chewbacca. That was never my favorite building anyway.
Yep, first one without a medal.
The cowardly Imperial governor is looting the city, using his luxury yachts to transport stolen goods. Help the citizens of Gerrard V keep their rightful treasures.
Gerrard V is attempting to gain its independence, but the Imperial governor is looting the city. Rogue Squadron, you must protect Crix Madine's Y-Wings while they disable the escaping ships.
Don't worry, we're not so helpless.
Remember, let the Y-Wings take care of the yachts. Rogue Squadron flies cover.
Accelerate to attack speed. I'm hit. I'm hit. I'm hit. I'm hit.
one thing I remember of this mission is a bit confusing. Because it tells you to worry about the gun, or not to worry about the guns. In a way, just stay close and make sure that none of those Y-Wings get destroyed. And you can go after the guns if you like. Yeah, and this mission is where you meet air-to-air missiles.
Help me out here. Rear shield's down.
Yep, and there they are. You'll hear a bit of a weird lock-on sound, and then sooner or later you'll have missiles coming after you, and those things, you don't want to stay in one spot because those things have a pretty good chance of hitting you.
Rogue Squadron, where's our cover?
We've got to destroy those missile turrets, otherwise the Y-Wings are done for.
Thanks, Rogue Group. I'm clear. I'm clear, but my fighter is down.
Yeah, so basically, now I get it. Yeah, so for the most part, just take out those missiles and you're good, because Y-Wings do not fare well against those.
I'm on the other side of the planet. We've got trouble. It's 128th High Interceptor Squadron. They're the best of the best. Cut the chatter. Wedge, hold them off as best you can. Rogues, we're gonna have company real soon. We can't stop the Imperials without our Y-Wings. I'm clear, but my fighter is down. Help me out here.
Shit. Alright, well, we know the drill. One too many dead Y-Wings is enough. Yeah, it's just simply, for the most part, this is a pretty simple mission. It's just making sure your Y-Wings stay alive is really all that matters. Oh shit. That's why I do not like the C commands, because it is easy to just barrel yourself into shit when you intend to use the proton torpedo button. Holy shit, this frame rate. There we go.
Nice shot.
Well, the two Y-Wings are still around, so that's all good. Shit. Yeah, and that's another thing too, is that you do not have R2 to fix you, so
Like shooting Y-Wings, do ya? Here's a little message from Rogue Squadron.
This is Lieutenant Jason Moore of the Imperial 128th Unidentified Y-Wing. Are you quite done? My vehicle has been disabled for a good 2 minutes now.
yourself a prisoner of the Rebel Alliance.
Well, if you quit shooting at me, I have a proposal to make. One which would serve us all.
Not bad, another bronze, and I was only a few enemies away from getting silver. Oh well.